Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated, go on about their business, care less.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more. The nation's oldest traveling celebration of the arts, the National Folk Festival, is coming to downtown Jackson November 7th through the 9th. Discover the sights, sounds, and flavors of our nation. The full lineup is now available, featuring blues, gospel, Puerto Rican, Irish, Southern Soul, Bluegrass, Korean, Zydeco, Flamenco, HBCU marching bands, Choctaw, Go-Go, and more. It's unique and unforgettable fun for the entire family, and it's free. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Waffle, 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 waffle. Good morning, Carol. This is Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio.
What a great song to start the morning with.
Yeah, it's a
love
Waffle
Raisin
House.
Toast, yeah.
A Waffle House
Song.
morning.
It is. Indeed it is.
Raisin toast. Very good. So,
You know, I almost called you last night and said, let's meet at the Waffle House. It's 6 o'clock this morning, but
didn't work out.
we'll do it again.
Well, we're going to talk about the Waffle House in our second segment. So if anybody has Waffle House tales they would like to share, you'll be invited to join the conversation in the second segment. And but before that, we have lots of tidbits to talk about, Carol. I was away this past weekend. Really, it was a Thursday through Sunday weekend with my Boonville pals for Pickwick Lake weekend. We do this in the fall every year. We go
And
up.
I love hearing about the food.
Well,
is that all y'all do?
we watch a lot of sports and we reminisce. We go for long walks in the autumn leaves around the lake. We often go boating. Our host, Tommy Cadle, has a fantastic pontoon boat. We did not go out this time. It rained quite a bit this past weekend, but we cook. Each individual has a specialty or a night that they cook. Like we have steak night, we have fish fry night, we have breakfast mornings full on.
Now, that's what I'm interested in. The breakfasts are just always divine.
Well, this year we did not do the shrimp in a Creole. I think it's what Tommy calls that. Instead he cooked country ham with red-eye gravy and biscuits.
You know, red-eye gravy is so underrated, and you don't see it as much anymore at the South. You used to could order grits and red-eye gravy on lots of menus, like the Green Derby in Jackson and
it's old school.
LaFleur's. Yeah, it's
very old school.
Old school.
And you make it with the drippings when you cook your country ham. You add coffee.
Yeah,
to
and the
your
darker
drippings.
the coffee, the better the
And
gravy.
it's fine and delicious. So that was one of our breakfasts. Bill Barnett, who makes a dish that his mother-in-law turned him on to many years ago. It's a marinated shrimp in an Italian dressing with jumbo black olives, artichoke hearts, red onions, and sweet peppers, and sausages that are seared and then put in the bowl with the shrimp and the vegetables, and you toothpick it. You eat it with a toothpick, and then
The sausage thing is throwing me.
trust me, it's Polish sausage, and it's seared in little pieces, and then once it's seared, blackened, it's put in the bowl with the other shrimp and the vegetables, and we started dipping it this year in this Creole tomato salad dressing, which we have here, which is a Louisiana product. It is distributed here in Jackson by the Corner Market, and it is fine. And it is a salad dressing. It's a dipping sauce. It's kind of like a remoulade or something in that family, or come back if you would. So anyway, we ended up dipping everything we could get our hands on in the Creole tomato sauce.
And I just want to shout out to that sauce too. Our good friend Kim Irby gave me a jar last month. She had heard some caller call us on the radio show and talk about it, and I'm on to my second jar now.
It's fine. Mary Margaret Miller White turned me on to it. I was in the corner market one day shopping and bumped into her, and we were just chatting, and I looked in her basket, and I said, "What is that?" And she said, "You got to go get a jar. It's in the salad vegetable department. It's kept refrigerated." Anyway, so I highly recommend the Creole tomato salad dressing from Corner Market for dipping of any variety.
And Corner Markets are a Mississippi-based.
Based in Hattiesburg.
Yeah,
right?
based in Hattiesburg, but they're all over the state. I'm not sure where, but
we had 2 or 3 here at one time. We only have the one now? Am I
no,
right
we
about
have
that?
2.
We have 2.
Fondren and Maywood Mart.
Oh, okay. You're right. Absolutely. Of course, you're right. I also brought along another local dressing. I can't reach it, but it's the
Fratesi's.
Fratesi's Italian salad
From
dressing.
Leland.
From the Delta Italians, now in Ridgeland. And they bottle and market and sell their salad dressing, which is good.
Yep.
And I also brought along a bottle of that just to talk about regional sauces. We talk about comeback all the time.
Yeah, and I love to go by Fratesi's. You can pump your gas and get some really fine food and pick up some condiments.
Yeah, and they're here. They're at Ridgeland as well.
Really?
Fratesi's has a restaurant here in Ridgeland. So am I right about that? If I'm wrong, please let me know. All right, we're going to pause just a second because we got a caller. We're going to take this call, then we're going to get back to tidbits. Because I've got a long list of things that I wish to cover. Edward, what's going on, my friend?
What's up there, dude?
Dude,
hey, look,
all is well.
Did you ever work? Did you work at TGI Fridays?
You know, I did not, but we had a long talk about TGI Fridays this weekend because 2 of my Boonville friends work there. I, Edward, came to Jackson to run Oliver's. Now, TGI Fridays was up and running. I'm sorry?
Highland Village, wasn't it?
Yes, Highland Village. So
Yeah,
there was the deli, there was Oliver's, and there was TGI Fridays, which were the sort of restaurants in Highland Village at the end of the 70s leading into the 1980s. And I worked at Oliver's.
Well, the deal with me, I worked there for a short time, but all the who's who in the restaurant business in Jackson all worked there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You had
Fred Cerami.
all the guys.
Yeah. Bill Latham, Fred Cerami,
Buster worked there.
Tom Massey. They all. My friend Tommy Cadle worked there. Bill
Latham worked there.
Latham worked there. I mean, yeah, it was the place to be.
George Street worked there too. Joey
Mitchell.
Now Joey.
Yeah, Joey worked there.
Well, Joey was the owner of Oliver's, and that's who I came to Jackson to work for. Was Joey Mitchell?
I think he worked there too. I might be wrong.
I think you're probably right.
I could be wrong.
But he bought George Street first, and it was very successful. Then he bought Oliver's, where he'd been a manager in the past. He and Latham co-managed Oliver's before I got there. So there you have it. A walk down memory lane.
Let me just say this. You know, Bill's not around, but I've talked to a lot of people that said they couldn't believe his memory.
Yeah.
He could wait on a table with like 20 people and never write anything down.
Yeah.
Latham come back, it was perfect.
Yeah, he was a remarkable human being in many, many ways and very successful.
And he's really not gone because he's in everybody's mind all the time. When you go to a good restaurant or one of the restaurants that he either had or worked in, just a remarkable guy.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for the call.
What real Scrooge's, okay?
Right. He opened Scrooge's after he left TGI Fridays. Thanks, Edward. We appreciate you calling, listening, and being a friend to this show. And you know, Carol, we were talking about sauces before we talked to Edward. From a listener, Rebecca Wiggs, I got this jar. I'll hand it to you.
Yeah. Oh.
And a note from Rebecca, because when we introduced Michael Twitty last week, he mentioned this. Go
Henry
ahead.
Bain's famous sauce. It's from Kentucky.
It's from Louisville.
Louisville.
That's right. So anyway, it's from the Pendennis
Club dining room,
which was a high society downtown establishment where Henry Bain was the head waiter for most of the 20th century. And this sauce is smooth and yummy, and it contains both chutney and pickled walnuts, and it is great on ham, pork, or beef.
And you know what you're getting for Christmas from me. But
Suits me just fine.
This is a great little saying on the bottle. It says that the sauce is an expected condiment. At all local social functions.
And there you have it. Much like the comeback is.
Yeah,
here.
it's expected.
So Rebecca Wiggs, thank you for listening and sharing this jar. Next time you bring one by, it could be full instead of empty, but, I'm happy to have the empty one to talk about. Just kidding, of course. Well, thanks so much for that. And, Carol, also I brought you some minestrone soup, my wife's favorite soup. It is a hearty Italian vegetable soup with a tomato base. And you guessed it, the tomatoes are our first winter use of David Patterson's tomatoes, which we put up all summer long in anticipation of what's in that bowl there. So this is our first use of those summer tomatoes in a fall soup.
Malcolm, let me just say that I am honored to accept this minestrone soup.
Excellent.
And it will be served at lunch today for my husband, John,
yes,
and myself.
I included enough for John. I know how he loves
He's a soup guy.
A good, hearty soup.
Yes, indeed.
Now, another topic I want to discuss with you. I was reading my little book of meditations this morning. I read from 3 books, primarily about recovery and addiction and such. But I read them every morning, and throughout these years, I have written notes in there. And on today's reading and this week, I made a note that Alice Waters, the famous Alice Waters from Berkeley, California, and was here in Mississippi for the Southern Foodways Alliance, and y'all were featuring her in Greenwood at the Delta Divertissement. Can you tell us a little bit about all of that?
Yes, I can. First of all, it was just such a great honor for the Southern Foodways Alliance to bring her to Mississippi. And it was such a big deal that Fred Carl, the owner of Viking, agreed to send the Viking plane to California to pick her up. And this is no small deal.
Oh.
But, Viking being a hospitality company, one of the fun things about the company is that somebody would actually fly so our guests didn't get on the plane just by themselves, to be hospitable.
Yes,
and I got to fly with Alice Waters, and what a lovely person. And, she really transformed cooking in America. I mean, she's really one of the ones who taught us that it's our own ingredients and our own food.
Local.
That we don't be looking to France and Europe for everything. Right. Anyway, so she spoke at the Southern Foodways Alliance. She was just a fabulous guest. And she actually went to Greenwood after the Foodways Alliance, got to drive her to Greenwood, and she did, an event. And then our good friend Taylor Bowen Ricketts Chef Taylor Bowen Ricketts cooked a big dinner, a big community dinner for Alice Waters that night. And it was fine, and it really showed her what we were doing in the Delta. It was all about Delta food, and Alice Waters was really blown away by Greenwood. Yeah. And one of the things that I remember about her is that she got up like at 6 o'clock in the morning and walked over to the local school. She walked around Greenwood and ended up going to the local school. This was, she started the school garden movement.
Right.
Yeah, with her gardens.
What was the name of her restaurant?
Chez Panisse.
Chez Panisse, yes.
Chez Panisse.
In Berkeley.
In Berkeley, still there. But she met with the school, the school people and talked to them. She just took it on herself and talked to them about nutrition, what they were feeding the children, and talked to them about a school garden. But I thought that was pretty cool.
It's fabulous. And I was fortunate enough during that week or whatever it was to be in her presence and to be at some of these things that she presented. She was a wonderful, inspiring person of the trade. And speaking of France and inspiring legends, I follow. You can correct my pronunciation. Jacques Pepin's.
Yeah, Jacques Pepin,
the French chef, who was Charles de Gaulle's personal chef, and in the 50s worked at the hotel in Paris,
Plaza Athénée.
And he had a reel on the other day that I watched that I want to share with you. He was talking about at the hotel, they sold a lot of French toast, of course, to people who stayed in the Parisian hotel. And he said he learned a trick about making French toast. He makes it with ice cream. He just melts ice cream and puts his bread in the ice cream and then, browns it in butter and then tops it, of course, with maple syrup and, in this case, bananas. But he uses the ice cream as his soak as opposed to making it. He said he could go faster and do more volume using ice cream.
Who knew?
Well, we know.
Now we do, and now thousands of other people know. But, Jacques' contribution to the world of cooking is just immeasurable. He was truly, one of the very first celebrity cooks. And he and Julia Child had a great relationship and partnership. And, back in the old days when videos were just starting out, cooking with Jacques and Julia.
Which was on public broadcasting, public television.
Yes, and I think he got a Public Broadcasting Lifetime Achievement Award, but he's done, I think, 40 cookbooks. But he came and cooked with us at the Everyday Gourmet.
How much fun was that?
It was, it was a holy moment, Mal.
I bet.
Yep.
Well, I follow him on social media because he does these short reels where he cooks. This morning before I came here, I watched him cook a potato, I guess you would call it a potato casserole, using leftover baked potatoes with eggs and cheese, and then he browns it off on the top with Parmesan and serves it as a side dish for breakfast or lunch or brunch or whatever. Anyway, if you're interested in such things, you can just Google Jacques and follow along with me and thousands of others. I want to mention one other thing from the Pickwick weekend, and then we'll take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about a whole bunch of stuff, including more tidbits, but also Waffle House.
All right.
And I'll let you do the setup on Waffle House and why we are talking about it. But on our way home, I rode home with my friend Phil Abernathy, another Boonvillian, from the Pickwick Boonville Boys weekend. And we were determined yesterday morning when we woke up on the lake that on the way home we were going to find some barbecue. And I Googled and searched and dug around, and I found a Tops Barbecue in Corinth. It wasn't open on Sundays. I found, of course, one of my favorites, Johnny's in Tupelo, wasn't open on Sunday morning. And we were just about to strike out, and I stumbled across Mike's Barbecue. Mike's Barbecue is a mom-and-pop, African-American owned and operated small barbecue stand that used to be in Tupelo. And we're going to ask Chico about this because he's on hold here. I'm going to ask him if he remembers Mike's. But they were in Tupelo but ended up moving to the little community of Blue Springs, which is where the Toyota plant is. So
wise decision.
They have a little bitty storefront in Blue Springs, and it's Mike's Barbecue, and we really enjoy it. We had pulled pork sandwiches and beans and coleslaw and potato salad, and just lovely owners. I didn't catch their names. I'm sure his is Mike. I could be wrong. But anyway, if you find yourself in Blue Springs, pull over and have a barbecue at Mike's Barbecue. Okay, that'll do it for now. We're going to take a short break. We come back, we're going to talk Waffle House. We're going to talk to Chico Harris. We're going to talk about the National Folk Festival that's coming to Jackson, not this weekend, but next weekend, and lots of other things like Halloween and all of the treats that are out there for Halloween. All right, short break. Much more coming back after the break with Carol and myself on Deep South Dining here on MPB Think Radio.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Waffle, 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 waffle. We got eggs any way you like them, 24 hours a day.
It's the Waffle House.
Ye old Waffle House. All right, before we dive deep into the Waffle House, we're going to take a call here from our North Mississippi correspondent, Chico Harris. What's up, brother?
Hey, good morning, y'all. I want to talk about the amusement park ride theme and food. But first, I want to do a sidebar on Waffle House, and just to get the downer out of the way first. I hadn't eaten at Waffle House in decades, and Ginger and I were in Memphis at the Mempho Festival a couple of weeks ago, and we left, and it was late at night, and we left, and she doesn't like to stop at those fish shacks on Lamar Avenue in that neighborhood late at night like I do.
Right, the Chico way.
Oh, man, I love those places. But so we crossed the state line into Olive Branch and saw a Waffle House. And, because nothing ever happens at Waffle House.
Nothing.
And we stopped there. And I'm disappointed to report that they no longer have the waffle sandwich on the menu.
I wasn't familiar with it, but we'll have to investigate what happened to the waffle sandwich.
And that could have been a one-off.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But what did you
What
eat?
disappointment.
Yeah. But anyway, to move on.
Yeah, let's move on to slug burgers because, hey, I had one in Iuka over the weekend.
Oh, I got to hear about this.
Well,
But,
it's a little stand it says since the 1930s. I'm struggling to recall the name of it, but it's downtown by the little railroad park, next door to the little cafe that's called Cream and Sugar, where they serve breakfast and lunch. We were in there eating breakfast, and just down, like 3 doors down, is a little slug burger place. And it's been there, according to the sign, since the 1930s. And I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it. But if you haven't tried it, Chico, give it a shot next time you're in town. I know you are a slug burger aficionado.
Oh, I'm going to go search out that place. You know, I think every restaurant in Iuka ought to specialize in lemon icebox pie, because whenever somebody from Iuka calls into Felder, he says, "Oh, you up there in the icebox?"
That Felder.
Yeah.
He thinks it's cold in Iuka.
Now, talking about that part of the world, y'all familiar with Kossuth, Mississippi?
Oh,
right?
Oh, my
course.
goodness, of course.
Are you kidding?
Now, do you remember that? And it may still be, I don't know, but there used to be a Ferris wheel manufacturing facility in Kossuth.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that, but I'm intrigued.
They made Ferris wheels, and 40 years ago, I was delivering steel for S&H Steel in Tupelo, and delivered steel to them.
Wow.
And I was just always intrigued, that Ferris wheels were built in Kossuth, Mississippi. Not huge ones. I didn't see any double deckers, but they were Ferris wheels. And it reminds me that right there in what was downtown Kossuth, there was a little cafe. This would have been in 1985, but inside it looked like it should have been the 1940s. And they had a slug burger that today, when I get a slug burger and they put yellow food service mustard on it, it tastes like vinegar. Whenever I taste that, I think about that slug burger in Kossuth, Mississippi. I think that place was called the Longhorn Saloon. And, Corinth is right there.
Right there.
With the Slug Burger Festival and all that. But speaking of Ferris wheels, I have been on the Slug Burger roller coaster.
Do share.
This past October 17th was the 80th anniversary of
Johnny's Drive-In.
Which I've been looking forward to for years.
Well, of course you have. You're a
devotee.
devotee. You're a devotee.
That's right. And, the fellas that I have breakfast with on Thursday morning, they asked me why I wasn't going back for seconds. And I said, well, 3 hours I plan on
Gotta
being
eat lunch
at the front door, at 10 a.m. when they open up at Johnny's. And I was.
While y'all are having this happy North Mississippi guy reunion about slug burgers, I want to step in to tell our listeners who may not know what a slug burger is, and they may think that you guys are eating snails, that a slug burger is a Northeast Mississippi thing. Boonville and Corinth vie for bragging rights on it, but
as does Tupelo.
Started during the Depression, and it's a deep fried patty made with some kind of ground meat, usually pork or beef, but it has a filler,
Lots
like
of filler.
Potato flakes or
soy,
cornmeal
all
or
sorts
soy.
Of things. Yeah. And
they were called slug burgers. Some people would say because a slug was a nickel back then,
right.
But this is when meat was scarce. That's and right. You stretched your food, and now it's a thing.
It's a thing, big thing.
Oh, definitely. Most people call them dough burgers.
Well, it's a more polite way to speak of the sandwich.
Yeah, I like calling them slug burgers because it adds mystery.
That's right.
Yeah, but they are mollusk-free.
Right. So I got there Thursday morning ready for my 80th anniversary Johnny Burgers, because Johnny Burgers do have their distinct taste from all other slug burgers in the slug burger region. And I was surprised I wasn't surprised I was the first person in line to get in the door, but I was surprised there was nobody in line behind me, because I know a lot of people were looking forward to the 80th anniversary. And so they opened up, And I got in there and I ordered my ROC cola just like Elvis used to, and they knew what I wanted with my Johnny Burgers and all that. And I was just full of myself. I was taking pictures of my RC waiting on the Johnny Burgers to be delivered and putting them on social media and all that. And took a picture when the Johnny Burgers came. I was, look, here's my 80th anniversary Johnny Burgers. Put that on social media. Enjoyed them. Left there and then me and Cassidy, my dog, we had to drive by the Elvis Presley birthplace since it's right around the corner. And there were a bunch of tourists there, and I jumped out and I told them, I said, y'all, the 80th anniversary of Johnny's Drive-In is right around the corner. And I told them about Vernon and Gladys taking Elvis there, and Elvis sneaking back into town when he was a big star. And he told them all about that.
Good.
So while I was eating my Johnny Burgers that day, I was reading the Tupelo Daily Journal and saw that Saturday was the 25th anniversary of the Duty Burger Festival.
Oh, the Duty Burger. I used to have that record.
Oh yeah.
I had the 45.
Absolutely.
I had the 45.
Absolutely.
What, pray tell, is a Duty Burger?
Duty's
Duty
Drive-In.
Burgers.
It was in an old trolley car in Tupelo at the main. What do you call that intersection? It has a name.
Crosstown. Gloucester and Maine.
And they served, as did Weeks in Booneville. Duty's Diner served the burger, the slug, the dough, the whatever you want to call it. And there was a record made, and all I remember was it was something about down at Duty's Diner. That's all I remember about the song, but I had a copy of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was just in slug burger heaven. And, like I'm having my 80th anniversary slug burgers today. I'm going to come back over here to Tupelo for the Duty Burgers Festival. If they're going to have a Duty Burgers Festival, I'm going to be there.
Of course you are.
Well, I want to challenge y'all to come up with the Duty Burgers record so we can play it here on the show.
We'll search for it.
We'll do that. Well, when I was leaving Johnny's that day, my server told me, said, come back tomorrow for we're going to have ice cream and cake for the 80th anniversary. And I thought, well, why aren't you doing it today on the 80th anniversry? But I thought, well, I'll come back tomorrow, And then later on, I was thinking, what did I hear her wrong? Are they having the birthday cake Saturday? And I thought, well, I'll just knock out two. I'll come back for that, and then I'll hit the Duty Burger Festival. And so I called and asked. I said, what day are y'all having the birthday cake for the 80th anniversary? And they said, we're having it tomorrow, which is the 80th anniversary. I had gone on the 16th.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So
all
you
right.
know what that meant.
Yeah, you had to go back.
I had to go back on Friday, and then I had to go back on Saturday for the Duty Burger.
Well, there's your whole weekend. Chico Harris, man, thanks a million for listening. Thanks for calling. Always, we appreciate what you bring to the table. And, Carol, we were going to talk about the Waffle House experience, but we're about to come up on the break, so we don't want to short shift that.
No, and we can play the song again.
We can play the song yet again. But let's quickly talk about the National Folk Festival coming November 7 through 9 here to Jackson. It's the 82nd, I believe. The National Folk Festival will be in Jackson. It's free. It's music from all around the world, and the food is the reason we're bringing it up.
Yeah, the food just looks fantastic, and also it's really a great collection of Mississippi foods. Everything
from all over the region.
Gorilla Back Barbecue from Jackson to what was the one I was telling? Crunch Time.
Crunch Time, yeah.
Concessions, and then there's something from. I couldn't
There's
really.
A Columbia.
It's something from Columbia and something from Crayola,
I don't know.
Mississippi. Or I believe pork rinds. It just looks. Oh, it's from Mississippi Black Pot in Coila, Mississippi, which is it's a little unincorporated town in Carroll County.
Okay.
So they're pork skins and cracklings.
Fresh lemonade, barbecue. Man, they got all kind of good stuff.
Yep.
Anyway.
Winona, Mississippi, fair favorite. So, I mean, the food looks fantastic.
So if you're interested, come to Jackson, not this weekend, but next weekend, November 7 through 9 for I believe it's the 82nd Annual National Folk Festival. There will be music from all across the globe, nice eats, and a good time in downtown Jackson. Set up much like the old Jubilee Jam was in terms of real estate. But it's free. It's open to the public. We'd love to have you come visit your capital city and take a bite out of the National Folk Festival. So there. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll come back, and then we got two big topics, Carol. We got to cover the Waffle House, and then lastly, we got to touch on Halloween and a few of the goings-on that surround Halloween and sweet treats. We'll be right back with more Deep South Dining, heard right here on MPB Think Radio. Carol and I will take a short break.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission. The nation's oldest traveling celebration of the arts, the National Folk Festival, is coming to downtown Jackson November 7th through the 9th. Discover the sights, sounds, and flavors of our nation. The full lineup is now available, featuring blues, gospel, Puerto Rican, Irish, Southern Soul, Bluegrass, Korean, Zydeco, Flamenco, HBCU marching bands, Choctaw, Go-Go, and more. It's unique and unforgettable fun for the entire family, and it's free. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Oh, yeah. Waffle, 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 waffle. Carol, you have not been a follower of the Waffle House throughout your life, but yet an occasion occurred recently that you wanted to share with us.
You know, I mean, I've been a follower and an admirer from afar, and I actually have a Waffle House T-shirt because I feel like I work at the Waffle House every morning because my husband, it's breakfast to order. I mean, it's like, I want some grits and some eggs and some sausage. But yesterday, Megan Clapton took me to the Waffle House for my birthday.
For your birthday, which continues.
It continues the month of October because I was, lamenting. It's just not on my list of normal places that I go. I do remember going to the Waffle House and just being amazed that it was open at 4:00 in the morning after exiting Club Ebony in Indianola where B.B. King played. You know, he started at midnight. And so I had a great Waffle House experience, but I don't remember it. And I understand that is...
I bet B.B. King didn't remember it either.
That is the pattern. That's where you go when you need to
refresh your memory.
Refresh your
You go
memory.
to the Waffle House and ease back into reality.
But I had
it's a sobering dining experience.
A sobering dining experience. as Anthony Bourdain said, it's for the heavily hammered. And he had never been or heard of a Waffle House.
And who took him?
Sean
Brock from Nashville.
Took him to the Waffle House in Charleston, South Carolina. And Anthony Bourdain had a religious experience. And, I kind of had that yesterday, too. It was just the whole package of seeing that line and how the cooks operate. It was just the beauty and the skill. But, of course, everybody has to get a waffle at Waffle House.
Yes.
Sean Brock said that's where you start, and then you go with everything else. And, Chico was talking about the waffle sandwich, and that is a thing, but it's not on the menu. And, people take their waffle apart and use it as bread, and then you can put your, your egg and your bacon and your stuff in there. But, they will most of the times make it for you.
If you, upon request. Well, neighbors Joe Rogers Sr. and Tom Faulkner opened the first Waffle House in 1955 in Avondale Estates, Georgia. The concept was to combine the speed of fast food and table service with around-the-clock availability. He says, Joe Rogers Sr., we are not in the food business, we are in the people business. So,
don't you just love it?
Now, the thing that I was most intrigued by was this recovery component, that the Waffle House is one of the top 4 corporations in the country that include Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's for disaster response.
It's amazing. There's actually a Waffle House index. And, I think I've heard it on the Weather Channel, but the Waffle House index is first of all, how many Waffle Houses are closing. Like when a hurricane comes in and Waffle House started closing, that is a sign, because their motto, is being open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So when Waffle Houses close, that means it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And then the Waffle House index is also when the Waffle House reopens. And they have a whole disaster recovery operation. They have generators, food, everything already staged to come into a disaster area.
Wow. So that is extraordinarily interesting to me. They have this great disaster management plan with portable generators and portions of food and ice. Anyway, it's a remarkable concept that they have. There are like 2,000 locations Waffle House across 25 states, though most are in the South, right?
Yeah, sadly, our northern brethren really don't get much Waffle House exposure. But, Sean Brock said something that was so interesting to me. He said he knew as a young man from a very rural area that he wanted to be a chef, and that he would just sit in Waffle Houses forever because it was the only place he could see what a line looks like in a kitchen.
Because all the kitchens are open.
Yeah, and study how the efficiency and the skill and how the people work together. But my most intriguing thing about Waffle House is the hash browns. Yeah,
because they smother, cover, chunk. I mean, there's this whole thing that they do to them.
They do. You order smother, covered, chunk, diced, peppered, cap, topped, or country.
Oh boy!
And the first 3, the hash browns, were smothered and covered.
Okay. And that's smothered and covered with what?
Okay, you're smothered with onions, and then you cover with cheese.
Cheese, okay.
And so then the first...
Is that like rock, paper, scissors?
So the first and those terms came not from corporate menu, just from the people on the line.
Work there.
Yeah, working
there. Yeah, no,
there.
that's restaurant jargon.
Yeah, and so they started incorporating it into the menu.
Okay.
I think back in the 1980s. But Sean Brock said you have to find your balance. That's what he told Anthony. Anthony Bourdain was overwhelmed.
Of course he was.
And
the menu alone is like reading, an Encyclopedia Britannica.
of eggs and waffles.
Just goes on and on. And they also do steaks, little steak.
Mm-hmm.
They do hamburgers.
Yeah.
They do other things, I suppose.
But Sean Brock's
They
balance,
do a patty melt.
yes, is smothered, covered, and chunked.
Okay.
And chunked is with diced ham.
Mm-hmm.
But I had mine smothered, covered, and peppered.
Pepper. Did you use ketchup as a condiment?
I did not.
You went with no condiment.
Yeah, no condiment. Now, when they...
How'd you have your eggs?
I didn't have eggs. I had a waffle.
No
and hash
eggs?
browns. I had a bunch of carbs. But that's why I wanted to call you this morning, because I was ready.
You're ready for a return.
But it was really a wonderful experience. And I don't intend to go for hangover management or middle of the night stuff, but I want to meet a friend there.
There are people who are members of the 24-hour Church of Walmart who go regularly.
You mean of Waffle House?
Waffle House, not Walmart. And they go all the time. I go occasionally because my grandson loves the waffles. So we'll go there on a Saturday morning, perhaps. But I'm sure there are many, many devotees of the Waffle House. I love seeing them when I'm out on the road. I don't go in them very often, and I'll tell you why. It's always too cold in there for me.
Got to take a
I'm
sweater.
a thin skin. I'm gonna have to keep a sweater in my
Well,
back seat.
Megan
So.
actually texted me to bring a sweater. She said, it's sometimes cold in there.
No, not sometimes. It's always cold in the Waffle House. I don't know how they pay their electric bill. It's so cold. In fact, as you drive across America and see the Waffle House, you will always notice that the windows are fogged over because it's so cold in there. Now, that's attractive to a lot of people, obviously.
Keep a sweater in your car now. But, yeah, they kept adding these things that the cooks would add to the hash browns. They were ingredients that they had, but when they added chili to the hash browns,
Oh, boy.
that took it to a new level.
Yeah. All right, we got a caller. Kevin from South Carolina wants to chat about Waffle House condiment. What's happening? No, not condiment, comment. Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Hey, not a lot. Just mainly my blood pressure as we talk about the Waffle House. So first and foremost, happy 35th birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The other thing, just a couple of things while I was waiting to get on here, you mentioned the 24-hour Church of Walmart, which you may have thought was a mistake, but typically the 24-hour Walmart shoppers can be found at the Waffle House as well.
Okay, that
so
makes sense.
That's important to remember. And you guys hit on it just as you guys put me on, was the chili. The chili, just throwing this out there, for my money, chili at Waffle House is the most underrated Waffle House thing there is.
Okay. So you like the chili?
On top of those hash browns.
There you go.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing. You also mentioned the condensation on the insides of the windows.
I did.
Being from the north, hearing the Waffle House rumors, as they do tend to circulate, I'll be completely honest. I actually didn't think that was condensation before I ate at my first Waffle House. I assumed that was grease.
Oh, my gosh. Kevin, I'm with you.
Fortunately, I was wrong. But that, and the other thing, too, the Waffle House disaster preparedness plan.
Yes. Most impressive.
If you want to learn more about that, there's an amazing YouTube video called, I think it's called Waffle House Coliseum of the South or something like that.
Okay.
And the guy who does the video, it's like maybe a 20-minute video, goes all the way from the Waffle House founder and like how Waffle House kind of happened, all the way up to talking about how they have, standby teams to go in and work in disaster zone affected Waffle Houses so that the people that actually work at that Waffle House can go home and take care of their families.
Gotcha. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for checking in with us. As always, super informative and a delight to hear from you. We got to quickly hit on Halloween. Carol, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Candy corn.
Candy corn.
Yeah,
I would not have guessed that.
Candy corn and those little orange pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you, Mal?
Well, I go chocolate. I'm always like a Reese's peanut butter cup kind of guy. Although one thing I don't like about trick-or-treating Reese's is that they always melt and they're gooey and messy by the time you get them back to the house. So I have to sling them in the refrigerator.
Just don't hold them in your hand.
I put them in the refrigerator for a little while. You know, I will say this, as I got the script last evening from Marissa, and I saw her list of the most popular candies according to Reader's Digest: Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, M&M's, Hershey's Milk Chocolate, Snickers, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Twix, Kit Kat, Airheads, and then I noticed Nerds. And no, this is a true story. Just as I noticed Nerds, I looked to the left of my computer keyboard, and there was an empty box of Nerds where my grandson Wilder had been fiddling around on my computer and had left his first trick-or-treat candy box behind. He and his sister Ren trick-or-treated in Fondren this past weekend, and he was carrying Nerds when he got to my house and left me the empty box.
And a trail, you knew who had been on your computer.
What about non-candy snacks for trick-or-treaters? Got any?
Well,
no way.
You know, you can go to a party and you can get a candy apple or a caramel apple, but that's a very special. Yeah. That's just not a door-to-door thing.
That's too much. Remember the days when we would make those caramel popcorn balls and wrap them in foil? Not foil. Wrap them in film and hand those out.
Oh,
those things were so
now
good.
That was a great idea. You have to.
Do you know about this, Marissa? You're young.
I don't think we ever did them like ourselves, but they had like somebody made some like individually wrapped. No, not homemade.
No,
like, and I remember getting them when I was younger, but.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, we stayed home. We made them.
We made everything.
It was a family activity.
We made everything.
We made Christmas cookies. We made popcorn balls.
Well,
we sound like
I love those
we
things.
sound like we walked to school in the snow 5 miles.
Barefoot.
We sound really old.
Barefoot.
We strung popcorn on string for our Christmas trees.
We were so poor.
And Coke was a nickel.
Coke was a nickel. And our show is concluding, Carol. It has been a delight.
It has been so much fun.
So much fun to talk to you for
many
45
tidbits.
minutes. We could talk for hours. Maybe they should extend our...
And we have.
Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio, and it is made possible by the generous contributions of folks like yourself. Please consider making a contribution to help us keep this show and others like it on the air. You can visit mpbonline.org or show your support by using the MPB app. Our show was masterfully produced by Marissa Vaughn. For my co-host, Carol Palmer, I'm Malcolm White. We had no particular guests, though we had several of our friends drop by. Stay tuned now for Everyday Tech at 10, Southern Remedy at 11. And remember, you can hear Carol and I every Monday and every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for more Deep South Dining.